In lines 60 through 63, Virgil says this about Aeolus's job. But the omnipotent Father hid them in dark caves, fearing this, and placed a mass and high mountains above, and gave them a king who, having been ordered by certain agreement, would know both to oppress them and to give them loose reins. Pater omnipotens here is obviously Jupiter, and so we need to remember that when we have usus there, he having been ordered by Jupiter, by the omnipotent Father. But we can see that Jupiter is the reason for all of this. He hid them in the dark caves, these winds that are pesky or dangerous. And then we have another present active participle here, which again, I think just really emphasizes the very active nature of all of this. We don't merely have adjectives, we don't merely have descriptions, but we have actions here. He's fearing. And then we have another figure of speech that is fairly infrequent, but does show up often enough in the Aeneid. It's a mass and high mountains. Well, what we mean by that is a massive mountain or a mass of high mountains. But Virgil's treating it here like two separate things, joined by a conjunction to emphasize just how big these mountains are. And this is called hendiades. We have the enjambment of impulsuit there, the next perfect tense verb, obdidit, impulsuit, regit, and then we have a relative clause, and we know it's a relative clause because we have the qui, and the qui refers back to the regem. He would give them a king, or he gave them a king, who would know to do this and to do that by a sure or certain or definitive deliberate agreement. And this is not your normal relative clause because we have the subjunctive verb, and you can hear me say who would know to emphasize the subjunctive nature of it. And probably we can identify this as a relative clause of characteristic. You might have an argument for a purpose, but I think this is more in line with the relative clause of characteristic here.